Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast, now known as the Offsiders podcast. I'm here again
Way.
with Massimo DeFranco
What's up, guys?
and Brendan Lang.
Hello, everybody.
And Brendan,
So-
why don't you explain how this new podcast is going to work?
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Luca. So as you heard there, our name is no longer the Four Musketeers. We are called the Offsiders now. And the reason for that change is because the content in this podcast is going to be a little different moving forward. So, as you listeners know, that have been listening from the start,
God bless you.
we used to make tier lists for different things, including NHL hockey. So now this podcast will be mostly about NHL hockey for the next few at least, and we might go into other sports as well. Yeah, that's right. So what this podcast basis will be is we'll go into picking a random team from the 31 teams in the NHL. We'll get that team, and then we will just discuss their past, present, future. We'll discuss what they've done. Are they a good team? How many cups have they won? Stuff like that. And then we'll keep going, and we'll try to get through this series of 31 teams. That's how it's going to go. Trivia will also be in here as well. And yeah, thank you for listening to our Four Musketeers podcast. But today we're starting in a new chapter, and our first one today for the Offsiders is good.
So what we're gonna do is I have a random number generator here from 1 to 31. I've also numbered the NHL teams alphabetically. We didn't want to just go Anaheim to Winnipeg because that's kind of boring and you can just tell which team is next. So it's fun if you just randomize it up. So our first number for the entire episode is number 4, and the fourth team in the league alphabetically are the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, Christ.
Okay.
This is gonna be fun.
Yes, it will be. I'm kind of
All right.
excited for this. I'm really excited to start new here.
Exactly. Okay, so the Buffalo Sabres joined the league in 1970 to 71. That was their first season. Currently still in the league.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Their
So-
entire fan base is just Leaf fans who don't want to pay an extra $300.
That's so true. Like when you go to Buffalo games and Toronto's playing, there's 100% more Toronto fans.
Yeah, Toronto has 3 home arenas, Ottawa and Buffalo.
It's honestly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
They have never won a Stanley Cup, and the last time they have been in the playoffs is 2010-11, that season.
They only
Yeah,
have 3
that's-
conference championships.
they're actually pretty good that year. They had 100 points in 09-10.
Yeah, their top 5 players were Thomas Vanek, the Austrian god, Drew Stafford, Jason Pominville, Tyler Ennis, and Tim Connolly with Ryan Miller in net.
Drew Stafford, man, I remember Drew Stafford playing like it was yesterday.
They
I
had
can't even.
They had some other guy on their early 10s roster that I can't remember. He went and played on Washington after. I can't think of his name.
Washington? Buffalo to Washington?
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna hurt that I don't remember this. Grr.
While Luca tries to figure that out,
Yeah.
Ryan Miller was their goalie, and it seems like ever since
right.
he left, everything just kind of hit the fan.
Yeah, Ryan Miller for a little bit there was like the best goal in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Ryan Miller being like the top of the line goaltender that everyone
He was
wanted.
considered the best American goalie at that time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for
It was
sure
him
he
and
would
Carey
have-
Price were battling for top spot for a while there.
For the best goalie in the league, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm trying to look here who that player would have been.
Yeah, I don't know who Luca's talking about because I don't
You
know.
said he
someone
played
who-
in the 2010s, Luca?
Yeah. If it's not on these guys' rosters, I'm gonna go look through Washington because now that's gonna be in the back of my mind the entire time.
He went to
Do
Washington.
you know what position he was?
He's a forward for sure.
Could it have been Yuri Novotny?
No, okay, hang on.
What season? Like 2010?
Dude, I don't remember exactly what season. If I
Well,
did, I'd probably remember the
there's
player.
there's no the only player that was traded from Buffalo to Washington is Yuri Novatoni, but
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking he didn't play on Buffalo now, but now I just want to know who this player is.
anyway.
How you didn't know who? Okay.
Um, the thing about Buffalo is we've talked a lot about this. It's along with Minnesota, we've talked about it a lot. But Buffalo just always seems. I find a lot of the time Buffalo comes out of the gates really strong,
Mm-hmm.
They've done that the past 2 seasons.
and you think, oh hey, this is actually Buffalo's year. Like maybe Buffalo is gonna have a chance of making the postseason this year, and then it just kind of fades out at the end. Like when you go back to 18-19, when you think of when they acquired Jeff Skinner and how like a torrid start he got off to, and you're thinking, wow, like he's gonna be the guy that pushes them over the hump, and then they just kind of fall off again, and it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember them playing the Leafs, and then the commentators are like, "Wow, it looks like the Battle of the QEW is back, and like these teams are competitive." And then Buffalo just died.
I know. Like Jeff Skinner in 18-19 had 63 points, and like I swear, like 50 of those were before the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
Now,
was.
like I remember we were in a fantasy league, Brendan,
Mhm.
and one of our buddies, Zach, who's been on this podcast before, picked up Jeff Skinner, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But Zach did his homework and figured out this guy was on like an absurd hot streak, and like from what I remembered of him, I'm like, okay, I don't think Jeff Skinner was that good.
Like he'd always been like
What's
serviceable
going on?
NHLer, but
He was a top six forward in Carolina, and then he kind
yeah.
of broke out in Buffalo for that one season.
Mhm.
Going back to like their past, I know like I've heard some stories that just playing in Buffalo was enough to make Ryan O'Reilly like fall out of love with hockey, and then the guy leaves Buffalo, goes to St. Louis, and wins a cup.
I think that's the thing about Buffalo. I think me and Masmo were looking at this before the show, and Buffalo is the 28th most valuable franchise in the NHL. So you can tell they're kind of a small market. They don't get a lot of fans over there, and like you said, most of the arena's filled with Toronto fans when they play there.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely attributes to their non-success because it's hard to lure players there because it's such a small market, and also they haven't been good for so long. And I think that has something to do with a guy like you said, Ryan O'Reilly, not wanting to play hockey anymore because he played in Philadelphia or in Buffalo. Probably that has to do with their market as well.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
like it's that, and it's like when you're playing in just like a place where like you're not having fun and the team's not doing well either. Like it's different if like you're like a player on the Leafs and maybe you're not the best player, but the team is lighting it up in the league and the fans are like loving the team.
Yeah.
But like if the team's still winning, you're okay, even though the fans are going to give you crap for being Jake Gardner. Like,
yeah, I was going to say Jake Gardner.
but
Yeah.
it's like I guess it just got to a point there where neither of them were working for him, and I don't know. I guess Ryan O'Reilly doing pretty well for himself now.
Yeah, I mean, and when you think of Toronto, like just think about how, and just because we're Toronto fans, so we see this the most.
Yeah.
Think about how bad Toronto was for so long, and
Oh yeah.
they'd still they'd still sell out their arena every night, and
They still were a watchable hockey team.
I mean, I don't even know if you could consider them a watchable hockey team, but there's so many fans here that even if they're not a good team, when you play for the Leafs or someone like the Leafs, like the Rangers or the Montreal Canadiens,
Yeah.
you know you're always going to have fans there, even if your team isn't the best team. So that helps you go to the arena every day and be like, hey, there's still going to be 18,000 people here watching me.
Well, like it also helps. Like I mean, I think every Canadian team has like a pretty good fan base because hockey is so huge in Canada, and especially because a lot of these other Canadian cities that aren't like Toronto, like hockey's pretty much their only sport. Like only major sport. It's like sure you have like CFL and all that, but like Toronto is the only city that has an MLB team and an NBA team.
Yeah,
So it shows that like obviously there's a market here for sports teams.
for sure. Well, it's also because Toronto's one of the biggest cities in the country.
Should be the capital.
Yeah. There's such a big market here for sports. There was rumors of second Toronto NHL team earlier this year.
Yeah, there actually was. I was seeing
It was gonna be called like the Toronto Golden Aces or something.
They were
I've
thinking
never
of-
heard about that.
they were thinking of putting the team maybe like in Hamilton or something. Mississauga, I don't know about that.
Just
yeah.
promote the students.
Anyways, let's get back to Buffalo here.
Yeah, we found a way to talk about the Leafs though.
Yeah.
we'll get to the Leafs one day. That'll be a
Wait.
long conversation.
To transition back to the Sabres.
Yes.
Like when you're playing in like a country that's so dominated by other sports like baseball and football and basketball.
Think about how big the Bills are. Like,
and well, yeah, and it's like there are other teams in Buffalo that are just bigger than the Sabres, and it also doesn't help that like the Sabres aren't doing that well. And then like when you think about other like American cities like Pittsburgh, it's like you don't think of Pittsburgh being like a big thing for hockey, but it's just because the Penguins have been such a good team for so long that like fans will come to their games.
yeah,
For
and
sure.
it really doesn't help that Buffalo is not a very good team, so fans
Oh,
are gonna
winning helps a lot.
Yeah, they're not a good team and they're not a big market. It's like the worst position they could be in.
Yeah, going back a little bit though, they haven't won a cup, but they have had a couple really good seasons. Like Massimo mentioned earlier that they came in 70-71. In the 74-75 season, they did finish the year with 113 points and finished first in their division. They lost in the conference finals. So, I mean, they got close there. And then also again in 2000 and I think it was 2006. Yeah, 2006. They also had 113 points and they again lost in the conference finals. So they've had a couple good years. They've made the Stanley Cup finals once in 88, 89.
Yeah, so do you remember the foot in the crease debacle?
Of course.
That was with Buffalo.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Lindy Ruff talking at the
No goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. It was Matt Molson.
Matt Molson.
Oh my god.
But he started on the Islanders.
Yeah.
And then he went to Buffalo, that's right.
Yeah.
Where is he now? I think he's on Minnesota.
He's on the Hershey Bears.
Oh.
It is an AHL team.
AHL team, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
His career's done pretty much.
Yeah, how old is Matt Molson now? Because he was really good in New York. With the
He wasn't really good, but he was top 6.
Oh, for sure. He was like played with Tavares for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another reason Tavares left because they couldn't find him good wingers.
He played 650 games in the NHL.
Yeah,
he was with the Sabres in 2016.
Yeah.
He's Canadian.
Yes, he is. His name Molson.
Luca, you were on track though. The Hershey Bears are the farm team, the Washington Capitals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he did get traded to Washington.
Molson grew up in Mississauga. Wow.
Yeah.
Played for Arendelle. You frick Arendelle.
Boys, getting back to the Buffalo Sabres.
No, this is what podcasts are all about, man.
He played on Buffalo. I do remember him playing in Buffalo. Actually, I just don't think of him as a Buffalo Sabre. I think of him as an Islander when I think of Matt Molson.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like I don't know why. I remembered I was in a fantasy hockey league with my friend Ryan's mom, and she drafted him. I'm like, who the hell is Matt Molson? I was like 11, but like I was so confused.
Do you guys remember a player by the name of Patrick Berglund?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, so he played in Buffalo, and then his like mental health, and he got to the point where like it wasn't a decision to quit hockey anymore. it was just he had to quit hockey because that was the only way he could get back
Playing
to
in
like his
Buffalo.
happiness. Playing in Buffalo got him that upset and just drove his mental health through the roof. So like something in management or something in like their environment, something's got to change because like I don't want that happening to anyone else.
Well, I mean, of course, it obviously needs to change when you've been around since, what was it, 70? How many years is that now? That's
Quick maths.
50 years. And you've only been to the Stanley Cup Finals once. I mean, you haven't won a cup. There's a lot of things that need to change there. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying that they haven't been good. I mean, they have. They've had some good seasons. I can't say that they haven't. But obviously, there is something going on with the management when you haven't made the playoffs since 2010.
Yeah.
I think it's just the Pagulas. They don't care enough about the team. I
Mhm.
think their main focus is in the bigger market, which is in football.
Of
Yeah,
course,
So
which
the
it's
Bills
always
always get
which it's always going to be. That's
yeah,
always got to be your bigger focus. Which one's going to make you more money? That's what owners are there for.
exactly.
Um, Another thing is, Brendan, I remember you saying they didn't make the playoffs since what, 2010, you said?
2010, 11. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact quickly, that is the longest playoff drought, 9 years.
Huh.
Nine seasons. And in the 2009-2010 season, that was their last divisional championship.
Oh
That would have
my.
been, yeah. And they actually had a good year. They had 100 points that year.
Like I'll give it to Buffalo. Like it's hard right now because you're in like one of the. I think you're in the most competitive division in the league. So like you
Hard.
got to build a really good team, and like you got to hope that some teams fall off. But like you got to be doing better than last place.
Especially with a guy like Jack Eichel.
Exactly.
Well, he's gonna be wasting away, or they're gonna have to trade him for some
Yeah.
really good
Like
prospects and players. Like they might just have to rebuild because like if you're a team who constantly just like overperforms at the start of the year and then just slumps after that, it's like, okay, well, something's obviously not working. So if nothing changes within the management, may as well just clean house and start a rebuild.
if you're Jack Eichel right now, how are you convincing yourself you're not wasting your career in Buffalo?
If I'm
Well, then
getting
there's no
paid,
way. But I mean,
Yeah, you're getting
that's
paid, but you want to be good.
yeah, no,
yeah,
that
of course.
you
But well, like the thing with being good in like a bad franchise or like a bad team is that you get more time to kind of show yourself off like to other teams if you ever get the chance to be a free agent or to be traded.
mhm.
But then it's like, okay, you're not really enjoying yourself like playing because you're never succeeding. It's just kind of the same thing over and over. Like it's like how Edmonton's players used to have to deal with it when they were in their draft bust era.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo in like 2014-15 that season, they finished dead last. They're awarded with the second overall pick because lottery, and then they get Jack Eichel, and he's been like their best player so far, but like he can't carry the whole team to the playoffs.
Hmm. No, for sure. I mean, in hockey, it's also extremely difficult to carry a team. I don't think anyone can carry a team
Yeah,
by themselves. It's not like other sports like basketball. When LeBron James goes to a
No,
different team, they're like guaranteed to be a finals contender. It
I
just doesn't
mean
happen like that in hockey.
well, I
last
mean, like even in other sports, like it's still really hard. Like
Oh, I mean, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not
yeah,
hard. I'm just
yeah, no,
saying,
no, like even LeBron James couldn't do that last year. Like
yeah,
yeah,
he
even
was
in
hurt a lot
sports
too.
where
But
that's possible, sometimes it's still not enough. But especially in hockey,
yeah, hockey is
yeah,
by far hockey's difficult to do that, and you really like. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like if you think of Sidney Crosby, he's obviously a great player. When he first got there, he had Lemieux to play with. I know Lemieux was getting older, but still,
yeah,
he
he
had
had
Lemieux there.
one or
And
two
then
yeah.
seasons with him.
you have Malkin who comes in when Lemieux's kind of done, and then Crosby always had somebody there with him. Same like with McDavid, he couldn't do anything until he had someone like Draisaitl.
Exactly. So, like, the only way you can actually carry a team in hockey is if you're McDavid and you're playing 40 minutes a night last season and you're just always on the ice. But,
But
like,
even
that's not even
even
enough.
he can't carry the team though.
Yeah, but like carrying a team as in scoring goals is not carrying a team as in carrying a team to the playoffs.
No, yeah, I know.
That's what I define carrying a team
Yeah,
as. Like,
me
if you
too.
can put the team on your back, take them to the playoffs, and take them to the finals, and win.
Yeah.
For
In
sure.
order to do that, you'd have to stay on the ice.
Yeah,
And you'd have to, like, play everyone's position.
and
Yeah,
and like
I mean-
I also think with a sport like as physical as hockey, like I don't like carrying a team and staying on the ice as much as Connor McDavid
Yeah.
did or does is like near impossible.
Just watching him play, there's always two guys on him at once because they know how dangerous he is. Like,
And I mean,
all
you
it takes is a two-man.
and you think about it, McDavid has had that serious injury. I forget what it was exactly. He had tore
Something in the leg.
something in his knee, but
Yeah.
but I mean, when you're playing, not saying that running into a goalpost, I mean that's completely different. But when you're playing 40 minutes a night, when they're just like you need to play 40 minutes or else we're not going to win a game, then
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, for Buffalo, since acquiring Eichel, like they haven't made the playoffs. They haven't showed any progress. They just have lackluster players and horrible contracts, and kind of a lack of goaltending. Like Olmark's pretty good, but you need a better goaltender than Linus Olmark.
That's exactly where management comes in, though, because you draft a guy. Is second overall the highest pick that they've ever had?
Probably.
Okay.
Wasn't Rasmus Dahlin first overall?
Oh yeah, they had Rasmus Dahlin first.
He was first. Okay. So you draft someone like Eichel, who at the time he was in the McDavid draft. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. At the time, there were some people saying like maybe Eichel's going to go first. And to get a guy, not saying that he should have gone ahead of McDavid, he obviously shouldn't have. But what I'm saying, when you get a guy that had that much hype, and he has produced at the NHL level, I can't say he's been a bust. He hasn't been.
Yeah.
But when you get a second overall pick like that, and you can't put the players around him to even make the playoffs once, like he hasn't even smelled the playoffs since he's been in the league.
Once you draft Jack Eichel, your job is simple. Your job is to build around him, not sell him off and hope like something good comes back for him.
I mean, like if building around him isn't working, you have to sell him off because
especially because he doesn't want to stay anymore.
Well, of course you have to at that point, but I mean, they had how many years has he been in the league now? 5? Like they've had time to do it.
And he's shown that he's the captain of the team and he can be a leader on the ice. But in my opinion, what I think they should do is they need to just sell Eichel and get as much as they can from another team.
Well, because now they have Dahlin, who is their top guy, prospect. So I mean, right now you're thinking you're gonna have to build around him. He's your guy now. So
yeah, he's your guy, but you don't really build around defensemen that often, though.
Yes, you are correct, but Dahlin has a pretty big offensive skill set for a defenseman and some offensive skill set that we haven't seen for a long time out of a defenseman.
That and he's not the only player they got.
See, I'd say ship off Eichel, but realistically, there's not a lot of teams that will make a blockbuster trade nowadays for Eichel. So that's probably not going to happen. No, I don't see that happening. That's why
Pittsburgh Penguins or a Chicago Blackhawks wants to get one last playoff run in before their stars or
Chicago. Chicago, I definitely wouldn't see. They're already trending down. They want to get younger right now. But I don't know. I think Buffalo doesn't really have a choice at this point. I mean, I don't know how much longer Eichel's contract is.
I don't know. I think isn't he extended? He's probably extended because McDavid's extended.
I'll check.
But Eichel's frustrated. He said it. He's a competitor. He wants to compete for the Stanley Cup, not compete for last place. What's his contract?
Okay.
8 year, $80 million.
8 year, $80 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not stripping off Eichel because
that's true. That contract is huge.
Yeah.
And he has a lot longer on the deal than I thought, but at some point, if you're not getting to where you need to get as a franchise with a guy like Eichel, paying him that much money, I mean,
Well, yeah, if you can identify Eichel's the problem, then yeah, by all means
yeah,
get rid of him. But right now the problem is depth and forwards and scoring and basically everything else that's not Eichel.
Well,
no,
no,
I'm
like
not saying Eichel's the
of
problem. That
course,
wasn't what I was saying there.
of course, a star player isn't going to be the problem for your team. It's like I don't think a star player is ever the problem. But the thing is, the star player isn't cutting it. It's like you signed him to an $80 million
Uh,
contract that is through the 2025-2026 season. You have up
uh,
until then, but you need to start at least making playoffs by this point.
well, you said it yourself. He can't carry the team to
Yeah,
playoffs.
I don't
Can't
know.
do it on his
I don't
own.
know if he's not cutting it. What I'm saying is, when it gets near the end of a contract, when he has 1 year or 2 years left, and he's not happy where he is, and you're not getting anywhere, then there's no point in holding on to him because what are you just going to let him walk in free agency and get absolutely nothing for him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, for me, like I think the only solution is to keep Eichel and just work with what you got. Because like Bristolainen wants out, I think you trade him because you already have Dahlin. You don't need him.
For sure.
I never heard that. I never heard that Ursuline
He
won.
yeah, he's fed up. He said he's been here for 7 years and he wants no part of losing for an 8th year straight.
It's been 7 years that they have Ristolainen.
Yup.
He's been around for a
God.
while. All I'm saying is that once Eichel's deal is nearing the end, you're going to have to deal him if you're not playing better hockey than you have been since you've drafted him. Because
Yeah.
you can't just let him walk in free agency. A guy like Eichel is going to bring you back some return. He has to because you know he's a good top six forward.
Yeah.
And the only problem right now trading him is just his contract is worth so much. It would be so difficult to trade.
Yeah.
Like another thing for me is like if they keep having these like middle of the pack or like playoff fringe kind of seasons that they're having, they're never gonna get a good enough draft pick to like really get like some young guys put in their team. It's like they're gonna have to rely on signing free agents and making trades with the guys they already have because if they're never like low enough that they get a good pick or high enough that they make playoffs, they're not gonna get out of this middle of the pack slump.
Yeah, but I think if Buffalo finishes last place next season, Eichel might absolutely lose his brain.
Well, I'm not saying tank.
No, like I don't think the solution is tank, but like if you're gonna be like if you're gonna miss the playoffs, like miss on purpose. Like don't miss, like don't just miss, because then you get like a 10th overall pick and you can't do anything with that. Or
See,
like you
like,
get a 15th.
like me as like if I was a professional athlete, tanking is would be one of the most demoralizing things that could happen to me.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
It-
Imagine being on Detroit right now.
I
Like
don't think
it,
any team should
it
actually.
goes, yeah.
I don't think they should actually say, guys, let's go out and lose hockey.
No. I
No.
mean, I don't think Detroit was like, guys, we're gonna compete for the Stanley Cup this year.
Sure, they were. Dude,
Well, like
they just don't have the talent to do it.
yeah, like
No way. No, you can't tell me. I don't even know who coaches the Detroit Red Wings. But you
Like,
can't tell me that he goes in that dressing room before the game and be like, "Hey guys, we gotta lose." So we
No.
can
Pass
draft
to
pick." Like,
Crosby, leave
Yeah.
it open. Like no, like for like if my coaches or my management were to come to me or to any of my teammates and say, "Okay, we're gonna tank this game, just stop," like I would want to leave the team immediately.
Yeah, because then there's like no point of playing. Yeah, I got you.
And like they have no faith in me as a player to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
it's
Like
just
I would never want to play for the team again.
tanking, and I agree with you, Luke, 100%. Tanking is more of a. I don't think it's an actual thing where they say, "Okay, we're going to tank this year." Like we're not going to say, "Okay, let's try to lose as many games as we can." It's
When
just
get Connor McDavid.
yeah, the management definitely has ideas of tanking before the season starts because what they'll put together a roster that isn't suited to
Yeah, like the Leafs in 2015, like their best players, P.A. Parento.
Pa Parento. Like, you're not gonna put together a team that is capable of making a deep run in the playoffs because you want to get a high pick, and that's fine. But you can't tell me you're actually going to tell players, let's try to lose as many games as we can.
No, yeah, they're probably not, but like I don't know. All I know is Buffalo, they need scoring. Like this season, Jack Eichel put up 78 points in 68 games. Following him was Sam Reinhart at 50 in 69 games, and then their rookie, Victor Olofsson, at 42 and 54.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
it's not good enough. Like
it is.
especially Skinner, man.
Yeah. What does Skinner have?
Skinner was so he extended to an 8-year, $72 million contract, so he could be they signed that so he could be Eichel's winger, so they were set for the future. Yeah,
I
he
want,
put up 23 points in 59 games.
I want to meet his agent.
That guy
Yeah,
robbed them.
yeah, he
His,
That
his,
is
his
highway
agent,
robbery.
his agent is crazy.
yeah.
Just to your point, Luca, you were saying that they're kind of in the middle of the road. They're not going to get high draft picks. I mean, they did get Eichel there, who was 2, and they also got Dahlin, who was 1. So, I mean, they have had high draft picks.
Mhm.
They haven't necessarily been in the middle of the road. Their next pick is going to be 7. So, I mean, they're still half.
8. It's going to be 8.
Will it be 8?
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
The 8th overall selection.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be 8. So, I mean, it's not like they're having like really, really low picks. I don't know. I think it's still in good position to get players, but they're going to have to do it quickly because
The players will not be able to. Yeah.
yeah, and it's, like you said, Ristolainen wants out. I mean, Dahlin's young, so you can't even go there that he would want out. But Eichel, we've heard him say that he's tired of losing. So,
Yeah.
and the only problem is like we said earlier in the show, they're a small market team and they haven't been good for so long. It's going to be tough to draw big name free agents to Buffalo. They're going to have to overpay for guys to
Oh,
come
for
later.
sure. Yeah.
And that's going to be difficult when they have a guy like Skinner who's putting up 23 points this year,
Taking up
making
a lot of
$72
cap
million,
Yeah.
and Eichel making $80 million. I mean, they're going to have to get rid of some of that contract somewhere if they want to sign guys or make trades for better players. It needs to happen.
John Tavares makes $70 million.
Yeah.
A little bit better than 23 points, Massimo.
I know.
You want to talk about overpaid? How about your buddy Neil?
No, we're not going there.
Hey,
We're saving that for Toronto. We're saving that for Toronto.
We get to Toronto, that'll be a good one.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
I think
Buffalo has like some future. They have Dylan Cousins, but like he's like their third best prospect. I wouldn't call Dahlin is a prospect, but he's already in the NHL.
I don't know. I think their future is looking okay, but they're gonna have to make some good draft picks, and they're gonna need to make some trades. But I think right now is a good time to move into trivia.
Yes.
And
So
then
basically,
And then after trivia, we will kind of talk more about the future of the Buffalo Sabres.
yeah. All right. So, this is part 1 of the finale for hockey trivia. So this is going to be part 1 of 4.
Yes, everyone listening, after this 4-part series is done, our trivia will move into other sports. So get ready.
Yeah.
Brendan will take NBA and MLB. I will take NFL.
And that will be fun. Anyway.
Yeah. This one's it's the finale, so it's got to be a bit tougher. I have faith in you boys, though.
I don't, but okay.
So what we're going to be doing is franchise point leaders starting in the Atlantic Division.
Oh, I've watched the bar down quizzes.
I don't even know if this is a bar down quiz, but okay. Yeah, we're going to do first to say the name, and then we're just going to hope you boys can actually put out a name. So, first
Okay, wait. Can I make something clear first?
Yeah.
Is it going to be first and then we have to wait for the other person to say a name? Or, if I just yell out 5 names before Brendan yells 1 and one of mine is right, is that okay?
No. So it's going to be whoever goes first obviously gets that, and then you have to wait for the other person to say something. Okay, Boston Bruins.
Bobby Orr.
No.
I wouldn't.
Brad Marchand?
For French.
Dude,
I know, it's tough. It's tough.
Mike Bossy.
That's
a good guess, but no.
Did he play on the
Really?
Islanders more though? I feel like
He did play on the Islanders more, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to go back and think of like.
I can give you a hint.
Sure.
Okay.
His last this isn't gonna help you, but his last name is famous in like the old time era.
Bobby
Starts with a
Hall or
B.
Brett Hall?
Starts with a what, Luke? I mean,
His last name starts with a B.
B.
Oh, B. Oh, I already gave my guesses.
Starts with a B.
B.
Wait, like B as in like Bob?
Oh.
Yeah.
Or no, Brendan already said the one.
Last name starts with a B. Yeah. I don't have faith that you guys know the history of these teams, so.
I'm not like. I immediately thought Bobby Orr.
You know what we can do? Since none of you are gonna get the name is Ray Bork. Okay.
Ray Bork, okay, that's
yeah.
What we're gonna do to decide the point is who can get closest to the point total.
No, I feel like we'll have a better chance at getting the names.
No. Like if you don't get the name, your point is for the point total.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go with the name first. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luca, what was your guess?
983.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't know. 1,000.
Oh my god.
1506. Brendan gets the point.
This guy friggin' Price is Rights me.
Okay. The Buffalo Sabres. Who leads their franchise with
I really
points?
just want to click back onto their Wikipedia page right now.
Their franchise and points.
I don't know. Danny Briere.
Did he ever even play on Buffalo?
I think
for
so.
a short period of time. What are you Googling?
I'm not Googling anything.
Well, it wasn't me.
All right, so Lucas said Danny Briere.
I know for a fact it's not him.
Okay. I honestly have no idea.
Okay, do you want to resort to the points?
Yes, please.
Okay, Gilbert Perreault.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay, how many points did he have?
Gilbert Perreault had 874.
875.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's 1326, so Luca gets the point. Okay. The Detroit Red Wings.
That's going to be Steve Yzerman.
Brett Hull.
No. Did Brett Hull even play for the Red Wings?
Henrik Zetterberg.
Bobby Hull.
Nope.
Why can't I think of...
What?
Gordie Howe. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm not even going to answer. That's right.
Yeah, it is right. So Brian gets the point.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not letting you boys not get his
big
name.
names that we just forget.
Yeah, he had 1809.
Like, dude, I should have known. Like even Ray Bork, I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, I know. Same.
All right. Florida Panthers.
Jonathan Huberdeau.
No way. Why are you going through all the irrelevant teams first?
It's the Atlantic alphabetically.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Come on, Luca, give me a name from the Florida Panthers.
Trying. Man. I can't even think of like Florida players. Like Barkov? Like I don't know.
Is that your answer?
Oh, okay, yes, but I know it's wrong.
Yeah, it's Huberdeau.
Wow.
So the most amount of points for the franchise is at 437, and that's by Jonathan Huberdeau.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move into Montreal here.
Maurice Richard.
Yeah, it's a good one. If it's the right answer, don't make me guess. But because I can't.
Well, I'm gonna make you guess because then it proved like it says to Luca it's the right answer, right? So I'm gonna make you guess regardless.
If it's
But it doesn't
right,
matter.
don't drag it on.
No, it's not right.
Of course.
There you go. Henri Richard.
Nope.
I don't know why I can't think of Montreal players.
I hear a lot of keyboards, Luca.
Relax, buddy. I'm not doing anything.
So yeah, they both got him wrong, so you can go again now.
Okay. Montreal. It's gonna be somebody like very, very notable.
I'm pretty sure you know him.
Is John Beliveau?
So Luca says John Beliveau. Brennan says Frank Mihaljevic. They're both wrong.
Oh, what's his name? Guy Lafleur.
Good one.
That's got to be it, man. That's the last one that I can really think of.
Yeah, it's Guy Lafleur.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Okay. The Ottawa Senators.
Alex Ovechkin. No, what?
Daniel Alfredson.
What? No, I don't know why I thought Alex Ovechkin. That's my bad. I don't know why I thought you said Washington Capitals. It just Okay, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jason Spezza if Brendan's wrong. Daniel.
Spezza's second, but Alfredson's first.
Oh, okay.
Alfredson has 1108.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Steven Stamford.
Martin St. Louis.
Luca gets it. Look at you go. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Doug Gilmore.
Daryl Sittler.
Nope.
Ooh,
Matt Sundin.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he's got 987.
That's the most points in Leaf history.
Yeah, and it's tied, so I gotta find a bonus question. Okay, I got one. So, on the Leafs, like every Leaf to ever play for the organization, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which current Leaf is the highest on the list for points at 41st overall?
Current Leaf.
So which current Leaf has the most amount of points as a Leaf? Pretty much.
He plays on the Leafs right now.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner. It's my final answer.
Austin Matthews.
It's Mitch Marner. Luca wins. So it's currently 6-3. Luca's making a comeback.
Luca shirts will be coming in the mail soon.
Ooh. I'm excited for those. I might have to rock one.
Yeah, so Luca wins the Atlantic Division.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into the Sabres' future.
So hold on, just for the trivia, one quick thing. There's 3 divisions left.
Yeah.
And if Luca wins all 3,
it's a clean sweep.
We'd be
well.
So we'll get there when it happens. But okay.
I have to win.
Well, the season doesn't end when the hockey ends.
That's
the
true.
season ends when
That's
trivia
true.
ends.
That's true.
We can make like seasons like 20 episodes long or something. I don't know.
Okay. That's very true, Massimo. Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back into the Buffalo Sabres, just like Massimo mentioned.
So for their future, they got Dahlin. He, in my opinion, I'm very high on Dahlin. I expect him to be like a really good defenseman, like franchise level defenseman. They got Eichel, obviously. Hopefully they keep him because I think he could be a really good forward for them. Potentially like one of their best captains. but obviously they have to compete with history. Dylan Cousins, solid top 6 player. He's got like 85 points in 51 games in the WHL. I don't know how that'll converge into the NHL, but
Actually, I'm pretty high on Dylan Cousins. Watching him in the World Juniors this year. I really liked his game. I think he's fairly tall. I like him, and he's a very good skater. Looking here, yeah, he's 6'3". Um, he's a little skinny, a little light, 185 pounds, but I mean he's only 19. Definitely has some time to fill out. So
yeah.
I like the size for sure, and he skates well for someone his size. So I actually really like Dylan Cousins. And you said top 6 forward. That's probably around the spot that I would say he would be. I think that's probably his floor. I think he has a fairly high ceiling for being someone of his size and his skating ability.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if
He could be more than that for sure.
185, I think I could take him. So I don't know how confident of an NHL player you should be if I can take you. But totally joking. Like I could kick my ass.
They have a goalie. He's I think 24, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. It is absolutely vital that he develops well and he can play for the Buffalo Sabres because if they can't,
Yeah.
if he can't, then they're going to need to go elsewhere to find goalies.
Yep, go. Hurry up, man.
He was pretty good, I think, in the World Juniors this year.
I think
Finland.
he's Finnish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been. I remember hearing his name for a couple of years in that tournament, and he's always been pretty good. Finland actually does a very good job of producing goalies.
Finland does a good job producing talent.
They do, but I'm saying like right now they definitely have a lot of talent in the NHL. But before they really became like a good player pool, they produce really good goalies, like someone like Mika Kiprusoff.
Tuukka Rask.
Tuukka Rask, exactly.
Yeah.
They have produced good goalies for a long time.
Yeah, like that's like kind of like their core prospect pool. There's not much going, and like I don't understand how you could be this bad for so long, but you can't draft well or you can't develop your players. So they need to do a better job of player development and scouting because that's how you get better from being bad. That's how Detroit's gonna turn into a really good team is their scouting.
Yeah,
and not losing the first overall selection to a playoff team.
for sure. I also think Matej Petkar is going to be good as well. I like him too.
Yeah.
Out of the Czech Republic, played in the OHL this year. I think he's only 19. He might even be younger than that. 20, okay. 2000 birthday.
Yeah,
I think he'll be good too. One interesting guy that I know Luca, when we did, if you were listening to our Team North America roster,
Oh yeah.
Luca had this guy Casey Middlestad
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
on his list. He's ranked as their 11th best prospect.
Casey, people are calling him more of a bust nowadays, but I think he's still got potential. He can still prove them wrong.
For sure. I mean, like you said,
he's
he's going to be 21, or he is 21 probably.
I remember. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, keep going.
I remember we were watching the World Cup in my basement, and Canada was playing U.S. And Casey Middlestad comes on. Brendan's like, "Man, I hate that guy," and I'm like, "Why? He's so damn good, and he's American." So
Yeah,
that's another reason he was always in the back of my mind.
Didn't hate him as much as Kiefer Bellows, but
oh my god, you hated that. Oh.
I've never looked at Casey Middlestad and said I hate him because he's so damn good.
Well, at the time he was when he was in the World Juniors.
For sure. But right now,
no, I mean like he's 21, playing in the AHL, 25 points in 36 games. I mean, it's tough. Also, only playing 36 games. That's
must have been. Victor Olofsson's doing better than he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I do agree with you though, Massimo. He definitely has a chance to prove people wrong. I'm definitely not calling Casey Middlestad a bust at this point. But just to see him so far down on the Buffalo Sabres prospect list is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to be called a bust and only 21 years old, but
Yeah, I think
he's
there's
been
no
that
way.
bad.
Yeah, it's true. He hasn't been good. I also think in sports nowadays, I don't mean just hockey, but in all sports, primes of your careers are coming at a younger age than they used to.
Yeah, and that's why their contracts are being bigger at younger ages.
For sure. And that's why you hear people calling players busts at 21 years old, because you look at these like top prospects and at 21 they're having some great seasons in the NHL and other professional leagues. So I think if Casey Middlestat was 21 like 20 years ago, you wouldn't
Yeah.
even been having a conversation that he's a bust.
No, yeah, we wouldn't even know who he was.
He's still like a young prospect at that time.
He's a late bloomer right now. He's like a late bloomer. I don't know why
Yeah,
he's considered a bust. I would just call him a late bloomer.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, you definitely see that from time to time where guys it just takes them a little longer to figure it out. So I can't count out Casey Middlestat
Yeah, like he's no Nail Yakupov.
yet. Yeah, I don't know many people who are Nail Yakupov, but
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? That guy's one of a kind.
he is. You're right.
One thing they did on the defensive that was actually like a really good addition is they added Brandon Montour,
Mhm.
so they can definitely afford to get out of Ristolainen and add some forward depth from that.
Yeah,
I think that's like their only
They have
exploration of trade.
no really good defensemen.
Darlene has the potential, but yes, I agree. They don't have.
Dowling's more of an offensive defenseman. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
You need a shutdown guy back there.
Yeah.
Especially when their offense is obviously not top notch. And goaltending also comes into mind as well.
Yeah, like Olmark was like a 915 this season. Like that's a decent starter, but like Carter Hutton is not a good backup.
Just trying to see.
Like you need kind of like a better goalie. You need like a top rated goalie. Cause like that's kind of like the Buffalo Sabres were kind of like the least before Freddie Anderson. Like they had like a decent forward group. Their defense was awful, and then they got Freddie, and like Freddie bailed them out like so many times. Like it's unreal how many times he's bailed them out of bad situations and goals.
Especially early, like when he first came. Like he was getting like 55 shots a night.
Like if you're that bad defensively, it's vital that you have a goalie who can bail you out.
And like you said, Allmark, I mean, I can't say he's bad, but when you have a defensive core like Buffalo, where your best defenseman is probably Ristolainen,
Yeah,
and he's still more of an offensive guy, I would think, than a defensive.
I'd say their best defensive is like some no name guy you've ever heard of, like
Exactly.
Vladimir Sobotka or something.
That's what I'm saying. And then when you have a guy who like Allmark, who's not top of the notch, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I mean, basically, they need to just change everything about this team. Just clean house, keep whatever they can, and just hopefully they can get a good rebuild going like the Rangers did. Because I don't think their players would tolerate a 5-year rebuild.
Definitely, yeah. You don't want to be a long one.
But even
Good thing you say that. Talking about 5 years. So one thing we want to do on the show is we're going to make a prediction if this team is in the NHL restart. As you guys know, hockey is going to be coming back, and the bubbles will be in Toronto and Edmonton. I think Massimo said the first game will be playing on August 1st.
August 1st. Yeah,
August
it's
1st.
set to be August 1st, and the board approved their plan, so they're all good to go now.
So Buffalo has not made the playoffs. They're not going to be in this NHL restart. But like you just said, Massimo, they want to be a short rebuild. So where do you see this team in 5 years? What could you think that they could be?
Well, for me, I look at the division they're in.
Mhm.
I definitely see other teams making a rise. I definitely see some teams making a fall. So there's definitely could be like a bunch of rearrangements here, but it's still the Atlantic, and that's going to be like a hard division to like make your way up. Like you got to deal with like Toronto, Boston, Tampa, Florida, Montreal's on the come up. Whoever comes up, Detroit, where how long they take. Ottawa, they're going to be down there for a while, but I see Buffalo just still on the fringe of making the playoffs. I don't think they can. I don't think they can secure a third place spot, and if they make the playoffs, it'll be off a wild card.
Mm-hmm. I think you said it right there. Buffalo, for me, in 5 years, I can see it happening where they make the playoffs. They're going to have to do a lot of different things they're doing right now. I'm talking about on the management side. They're going to have
Yeah.
to make some trades because, like I've been saying, it's going to be hard to lure big name free agents here. So trading and drafting is going to be their main way of acquiring talent. And yeah, I don't think in the next 5 years they can be a top 3 team in the East unless something, or in the Atlantic, unless something drastic changes.
Yeah.
If they made a wild
I
card
agree.
spot, I wouldn't say it's completely out of the question. But yeah, I'm kind of with Massimo on this one. I can see them around the fringes, but I just don't see them breaking in the next 5 years. Luca, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd give the wild card spot more to Montreal or Florida over Buffalo.
Mhm.
For sure.
So, I hate to be a basic, but to like if I was rationally thinking, it's like with the other teams that are in this division with them, they're not gonna really make much progress as a team. Like they can get better all they want, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna be better than Tampa until Stamkos and Kucherov are gone. You're not gonna be better than Boston until Marchand and Pasternak and Rask are gone. You're not gonna be better than Toronto for a very long time. So rationally, no, I don't see them moving in the next 5 years. But to make a bold prediction, they make the playoffs in 5 years. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they're
they
not
would
gonna
need
go far, even if they do.
a bunch of scoring and a solid goalie to bail them out.
And they need better defense. They need better
Yeah,
defense.
they need everything. They basically need everything, but it all comes down to scoring because the
I
hardest
think
thing to do in the NHL is put the puck in the net.
for sure. And I think they have sort of the makings of being able to build around some great players like Eichel and Dahlin, but it's
Yeah.
just the fact of doing it. And looking at the division, I think Massimo touched on this. I'm more confident in the rebuild of Montreal.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Florida even was fairly good this year.
Yeah.
And they're still young. So those two teams especially, I can still see. And I mean, Ottawa's going to have 2 early picks in the draft this year.
I think it's third and fifth. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So,
got
I
Alex
mean,
Ovechkin still.
Detroit, I can't say where they're drafting. I'm not 100% sure. 6 it might be.
Fourth. I
Fourth,
think.
okay. Yeah, I mean Detroit's is a little different because they were really really bad this year, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to be a tough road for Buffalo for sure.
They just need it. All stems from scouting. They need to scout well. They need to get good prospects, and they need to develop them into good NHL players because that's
Yeah.
where you get talent from nothing.
Player development too. We haven't talked about that, but yeah, for sure. Okay.
I think that's gonna wrap.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for listening to our first episode of the new sort of section that we're doing, the Offsiders podcast. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah. Thank you
See
so
you
much.
guys.
Have a good night.